Yo guys, what's going on? It's me, J-Ro. So today is Saturday, August 22nd, and I am a week out from the stage, and I wanted to take you guys through some of the stuff that I need to do in order to get ready for peak week. And one of the things I think that we don't really overlook, but we tend to know this a little bit better than people who don't do this is, what do you eat during peak week, right? And so one of the things that we have to make sure that we remember is that we have food readily available, right? Got to make sure that food is readily available for you at all times, right? The worst part about any of this is being hungry during prep, especially since calories are going to be shifting, calories are going to be a little bit lower, so we want to just make sure that we've got the food that we know works for us right here. So I'm going to take you guys through some of the stuff that I'm going to be making for the weekend, and then I'm going to cook it, and then I'm going to get into posing, and then we'll get right to it. So let's check out what I've got here. Okay, so we've got bell pepper, right, which we can never go wrong with. I've got at least, see, we've got bell pepper right here. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3. I like to have a lot of bell pepper, by the way, in case you can't tell, because this, once it gets chopped, it's like very much, these actually go pretty quickly. So we'll do 2 green peppers and 2 orange peppers, which I got my hands on last night. Okay, so that's some of that right there. So that's part 1. Put that away for now. Okay. Then, of course, so you've got your bell peppers over here. I'm also going to toss these with some garlic as well. Then, we, of course, will have these sweet potatoes, which I'm going to soak. There's at least 4 or 5 of these here. I'm going to soak and peel these. So we'll just going to... Alright, I'm just going to put these into this bowl over here. Right, 4 sweet potatoes, right, which I will cut and peel and cook, and I'll take you guys through how that's going to work as well. Just let that bowl fill up for a moment while I show you guys the rest of what we've got on deck here. At least 2 bunches of asparagus, right? So these are a natural diuretic. I'm sure you guys have seen people do this when they're in the middle of a cut. Asparagus, listen, when Costco has these things on sale, you have got to buy this stuff. It is like, look, I have been waiting for them to get this stuff back in stock, and I bought as much of it as I could. The way I just slammed my credit card down to get my hands on this was absolutely no joke. So 2 bunches of asparagus at least, and I will likely season these with some lemon juice and some pepper, right, to help make it a little bit more flavorful. Then we, of course, have mushrooms. Now, I'm just going through all the veggies right now that I need, but these mushrooms here as well, at least 2 packs. These also help to take up volume. I'll toss these with some garlic and some paprika, and we will have that, and we will have that also in our arsenal. And then finally, right, we need to get to the protein. So this week, whitefish is always a priority for me. And tilapia is no stranger to my cabinet here. We keep a lot of this on hand. This is about $22 per 8 pieces for a bag from Costco. These things are a godsend, by the way. And as you can see here on the back of the nutrition label, here, let me just do this real quick, right? 110 calories per serving. It's about 20 grams of protein per serving as well. And the sodium count on this is very, very low, which is why I like it. right? Very easy to track when you're keeping your sodium levels low. So I will make probably about 4 or 5 of these and eat them over the next 2 days. And then lastly, we will go with cod. And cod, if I remember correctly, is even better for you than tilapia, even though the sodium levels are at 190 milligrams per serving, right? It's zero fat and it's zero a lot of other stuff. I mean, so this is actually perfect for when we're trying to lean out for the stage. So as you can see here, right, this is a lot. This is the majority of the stuff that I'm going to make. And then, of course, to keep things interesting, we've got our ground turkey, no exceptions here, right? 99% lean, always hits, never disappoints, and also only 1 gram of fat per serving, 28 grams of protein, 60 milligrams of sodium. It's actually perfect for keeping things together, and really helps me to stay full. I ate 2 packs of this yesterday, right? And it was super helpful for me, especially since I took yesterday off. So, just making sure that the foods that I'm eating stay the same and also are really, helping me to get through the week. So this is just a little bit about what I'm going to cook, for this week, right? We're going to thaw some fish. I'm going to cut all this bell pepper. I'm going to wash and cut this asparagus. I'm going to cut these mushrooms. And that'll be it, guys. So I'm going to do all of this prep work right now before I get into posing, because posing usually takes up a lot of my time, right? And I want to be really focused on that. But one of the things I think we really overlook, meal prep, as the name suggests, does take preparation. And so when we don't do that, right, it becomes this horrible chore that we really don't get to enjoy. And since it's a necessity for making sure that I stay focused and stay on course, I want to make sure that I get that done now. So anyway, let's get to work, shall we?